All right, so today what we're going to try to get started with is drawing our project, the cell phone holder, okay? And so what we are looking to do to get started, we're going to start literally from the ground up with the base. So the base, if you're looking here on our project, is a 1/2 inch thick, okay, right here. 3.5 inches wide by 5 3/4 long. So I'm going to walk you through creating a file and drawing that one part. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to go to Simple Template and I'm going to click Feet and Inches. So now that we are Sorry, hang on. Okay, so now that we are in the file, we want to name it. So we're going to click Untitled and enter a model name. So I'm going to call it Cell Phone Holder. For me, since I've already drawn one of these and I already named it, I'm going to put Cell Phone Holder 3. You guys should be able to just put Cell Phone Holder. Click OK. I'm going to save it to my remote learning folder. Whoops. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start by just drawing a rectangle. So if we click the rectangle over here, like that, we're just going to start with the width and the length. So what I'm going to do is I clicked once, and then I'm just moving my mouse out to this general area here. And remember, if you look at dimensions at the bottom, it's going to move around when your cursor moves. So once you start typing, don't move your mouse. And what I'm going to type is first the width. So if you look at the bottom corner as I type, I'm typing 3 space 1/2, and then the quotation mark. That's going to make it inches and not feet. That's important. Then I'm going to type a comma. So 3.5 is our width, and 5 3/4 is our length. So I'm typing 5 space 3/4, quotation marks again, and I hit enter. Now, notice how small it is compared to our little friend over here. And again, that's for scale. So if you think about a piece that's 3.5 wide by 5 3/4 long, that would be relative to a person's size being so small. So I'm going to zoom in, okay, and get that centered on my screen. And then I'm going to go over to my push-pull tool. Click in the center once the blue dots show up and highlight it. So I'm going to click once, don't click again, and I'm going to move my mouse up. And once again, now I'm going to type, and you can look in the corner, 1/2, and the quotation mark, meaning 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to hit enter. Okay. So now we have a piece that is a 1/2 inch thick, 3.5 inches wide by 5 3/4 long. So what I want you to do is dimension it. So over on the left bar here, if you click this icon right here and click the dimension bar, all right, you should be able to highlight with your cursor until the line turns blue. Click it. Let's drag it down. It's going to show 3.5 inches. Click the sidebar here. Move it down to show 5 3/4 of an inch. And then you might have to zoom in here to get it to highlight blue. Click it, slide it out till we have a 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we have it dimensioned. One other thing we want to do is we want to label what this part is. So if you go over to this tool again, the dimensioning tool, if you look at this tool here that says text, we're going to click that. And you should see this little cursor that says A1. And what I want you to do is just pick a spot on this surface, click once, then drag out. Somewhere right around here is fine. Click again, and then it's going to give you a text box. You can delete what's there, and we're going to name this the base. And hit enter. Whoops, not enter. Just click outside that space, and now you have it labeled as the base. Okay. One last thing we're going to do, since we're going to be building different parts here, now that this piece is done, we want to make it what's called a component. And what that's going to do is it's going to change and make this whole piece one solid unit. So if you see right now, I can click on individual parts of this piece. And if I accidentally hit delete, like right here, it's going to take away that section of the cube. If I delete this part here, it's going to make that happen. So we don't want anything else happening to this piece. We want to make it one whole piece. So what I'm going to do is highlight that component, okay? And you should see everything highlighted. And this is, again, with our arrow cursor. So let me do that again. Arrow cursor, click and drag so that you have the whole piece highlighted. And then move your cursor to the center of the object and right-click. When you right-click, you're going to see an option to make a component. It says make component. So we're going to click that. And up here, it says definition. That's where we can name it. So I'm going to, again, name it the base. Where it says glue to, we don't want to glue this to anything. We want to have the freedom to move it around once we put the parts together. So we're going to leave it at none. And you can leave these options alone as well. And I'm going to hit OK. And what you're going to see now is when I try with the cursor to click like on the surface here, notice it highlights the whole thing, right? So now if I click this and delete it, the whole thing is going to be deleted. So that's going to make it easier to move it around later on if we need to add it to various parts of the project. See how I can click and move the whole thing and not disturb it. All right. So once you have this drawn, I want you to, if it hasn't already saved, mine says it automatically saved, but if it hasn't already saved, I want you to save it and screenshot this with the dimensions. Make sure you have these dimensions. That's important. And then submit it on Google Classroom for credit.